Hello everybody, my name is Edivaldo from Danfoss Climate Solutions. Welcome to this Danfoss training video.
Okay, and now I decided to come here to the laboratory to show you how to do it in the reality. So for this, I brought some equipment over here. So as you can see, I have some cables, I have the MPK and the KoolKey, and I also have some ERCs. The first thing, and very important, is to understand the difference between the MPK and the KoolKey. So the MPK is a mass programming device. It means that you can write one backup file here, one database, and download it to your ERC, to your EET, for example, without having the PC with you. You just need to power on the ERC, and we will do this procedure here in a few minutes. The KoolKey has also the same feature as the MPK. It can be used as a mass programming key as well, but it has several other features. You can, for example, retrieve the information from your controller and store it here inside the KoolKey. You can have several different configuration files inside the KoolKey, and you can also use it, as I said, as a mass programming device. You can connect to your controller and download the configuration file inside the KoolKey. You can also use it as a gateway. It means that you can connect your ERC, for example, to your PC using the Koolprog via KoolKey. So the first step that we are going to do now is to write a database, to write a configuration file here inside the MPK. And for this, I will use the KoolKey and a few cables. So I will connect, first of all, my USB cable. I will connect here to my PC. And the other end I will connect to the KoolKey. And here I will choose the corresponding cable. So I will use this cable over here, and I will connect this cable to my MPK. Okay. What I will do now is that I will open a database, for example, and I will change a parameter and I will download to the MPK. So I will open a database of this controller over here. This is an ERC 112C. And let's go for it now. So I will open the screen of my PC so you can follow with me. So I will go, first of all, to set parameters. And then I will come over here into new. I will create a new configuration file. So this is the ERC 112C, so 100 series. This is the 112C, yes. And I will save it as MPK1, for example, the name, MPK1. And I will select the corresponding model. It's this one over here. Okay. And now the Koolprog will open the corresponding configuration file for me. Let's wait for the Koolprog. Yes. So let's imagine, for example, that we will change our parameters list. So I will just change a parameter over here. I will define the set point as 10, for example, and then I will save. And as you can see here in the top of the screen, the Koolprog already recognized the MPK as being connected to my PC. So I will now click over here into the export icon, so we can export here to the MPK. And now the configurations are correctly exported here to the MPK. It means that the database that we have just created is correctly downloaded to the MPK. So I'll give it here an OK. And the next step now is to download the configuration file that we have here to our ERC. For this, I will disconnect my MPK here, and now I will download the database to our ERC. So I will power on our ERC, So I will connect the power to it. Yes, and I have added here a temperature sensor so we can follow with the temperature. And I will connect the corresponding cable to the ERC. So I will leave these cables here. We will not need them now. And I will connect the other cable to the MPK. Here it is. I will connect it to the corresponding input of this ERC. So this is the ERC 112C. I will connect it to the digital input. And the most interesting is that the configuration is downloaded automatically. You don't need to do nothing. The MPK will recognize that this ERC over here is exactly the same part number that it has stored inside it, and then it will download the database. And now the process is finished. So let's just confirm if the temperature, the set point is correct, so then we confirm that the database was downloaded correctly. So here it is, the set point as 10 degrees, just like we have just done here in our Koolprog. And now let's imagine that we want to retrieve the configuration here from the MPK to our PC to perform more changes and then download it here again to the MPK. And let's suppose something else. Let's suppose that you have, for example, the backup file in your PC and you want to download it here to the MPK. So two different cases. So the first thing is I will retrieve the database from the MPK to the Koolprog now. So I will connect here again my USB cable to my PC, and I will use the KoolKey as a gateway, just like I did before, and I will select the corresponding cable. Here it is. Okay, now I have my MPK connected to my Koolprog, and now I will go to set parameters and import settings from the connected device. It means that the Koolprog now will bring the configuration file here from the MPK to the PC, to the Koolprog in the PC, so we can edit the file. So now it have already identified as the MPK, as you can see here in the corner. And then it will take now a few moments to retrieve all the information here in the MPK. So let's wait for this information retrieval to be done. And as you can see, the LED here is orange, which means that the communication is ongoing right now. And here it is. Now we need to give it a name. So I will keep the name of the corresponding ERC. So this is the part number of the corresponding part number of the backup inside the MPK. And I will overwrite it. Good. So now we can navigate through the database, and then we can see all the parameters. We can change again the parameters, and then we can send it back to the MPK. As you can see over here. I come, for example, to the thermostat. As we saw, the set point is still 10, as we did the previous step. So now, let's do something different. Let's imagine that you already have your database in your PC, and you want to write it to the MPK. So I will go here to the home. And then let's use another feature also here available in the Koolprog, which is the copy to device. So when we come here to copy to device, then the Koolprog will open another window for me. So here we can select what is the backup file that we want. So let's imagine that you have a previously created backup file. from your production line, and you want to copy this backup file to your MPK. So you just come over here to browse, and then you select the configuration that you need. So I will decide, for example, I will choose the 3202, and I will open it. Here it is. So it's already identified as the ERC112C, and I will start. And then when I start the process, then all the configuration is written in the MPK according to this previously saved database that I had. And then you can see here the progress of the bar. And then it shows the progress of the process. Okay, and now the configuration file has been written successfully to our MPK. And then we are good to go. You can now download this backup file here, this configuration file, to the controller as we did in the previous step. Okay, and now let's talk about the KoolKey. So here we have our KoolKey. The KoolKey has three main applications. So for the first application is that it can be a gateway to connect a real controller to the Koolprog in your PC and edit it online. Or you can also import the backup file to the Koolprog and save it to your PC to edit later, for example. Or you can also download from the Koolprog to the controller if you already have an application. The second application of the KoolKey is that it can also be a copy key. This means that you can retrieve the configurations from the controller or download the saved databases inside the KoolKey to the controller. And here we can have several configuration files inside the KoolKey. For this second application, we use the switch. So here you can define if you will read or if you write in the controller. The third application is that it can be a copy key. So it's possible to download the configuration files inside the KoolKey to the controller or open them in the Koolprog for edition, for example. For the second and third applications, it's necessary to have the controller powered on or to use a power bank or 5 volts input in the KoolKey. And this is the input of the cable, the USB cable that you connect to your PC, or you can also connect the power bank or 5 volts input over here. Good. So let's go for the first exercise then. The first exercise, I will open this the configuration file of this ERC online here in the Koolprog, and I will change the parameters. So I will open the Koolprog over here. So I will open the Koolprog, and I will open the screen for you, and I will connect my USB cable to my KoolKey, and I will choose the right cable over here, which is this one for the right input. I will connect over here, and the ERC112C is the digital input, which is also a data input, and I will connect to the KoolKey. And here we have it. So important to mention that for the first application, the KoolKey can be our gateway. So I can do several tasks over here. One of them is the online service. So if I click over here into the online service, I can service online in our ERC. So let's take a look, for example, at some features. So my Koolprog already recognized that I'm working with the ERC112C. Let's wait for the information retrieval. And then I will select, for example, the air temperature over here, and I will open a chart. You can do this for several other variables. Okay, and now here we have our chart. And of course, we can play with the temperature sensor. We can increase and decrease the temperature, for example. And then we will see in the history log how it behaves. Good. Now we can see the temperature increasing, but we are not going to wait for the temperature to increase. we will see other features of the KoolKey. Good. So I will stop the history log, and I will return. Now let's open the parameters list here of our controller into the Koolprog. So I will go back to home. And now I will come to set parameters and I will import the settings from the connected device. Okay, now I will provide the setting name and I will keep the same name as it was. Okay, and here we can see that the Koolprog recognized correctly the model of my controller, which is the ERC112C. Now I will come over here to the thermostat and I will change the parameter. So for example, let's define the set point as being 15 degrees. And I will save it. And now I will export the parameters here from the Koolprog to our controller. So I will come over here to the export parameters into connected controller. And let's wait for the download process. Okay, and now our configurations from the Koolprog have been saved to the controller. I will just confirm it over here. And let's take a look into the controller. So here we have the 15 degrees set point that we have changed. So that's how you retrieve the database to your Koolprog and how you download it back again and how you edit the parameters online of your controller. And now let's go for the second and third application of our KoolKey. So the KoolKey, as I have mentioned before, it can be used as a copy key and as a mass storage device. So that's exactly what we are going to do now. So I will retrieve the configuration from this ERC over here, and I will retrieve this configuration and keep it saved in our KoolKey. Then we can open it into the Koolprog in our PC, or we can always download it back to the ERC. So the first step is to connect the KoolKey to the ERC so we can retrieve this configuration. And let's go for that. So I will take a look at the set point here. So the set point is 15 degrees, just as an example. So I will connect our KoolKey to the ERC. I will connect again here to the digital input, which is also a data input. And I will define the key as read, in the read position. The read position means that when I press the button, the KoolKey will read the information from this ERC. So I will press the start button now, and then the light will flash orange. It means that the information is, the KoolKey is exchanging information with the ERC. Okay, now it became green. It means that the configuration file is already saved here into our KoolKey. So now I can remove the configuration and I can connect our KoolKey to the Koolprog, to my PC, better said. And now you can open the configuration that we just saved here into our KoolKey. You can open in the Koolprog just by taking a look into the KoolKey, into the drive KoolKey. You will see with the name of the controller that you have saved, as you can see in this picture over here. Good. So now let's take a look on the process on how to download the software from the KoolKey to the ERC again. So I will disconnect my PC, and to ensure that the database was correctly saved, I will change the set point over here. So I will leave the set point as 10 degrees, for example. Here it is, 10 degrees. Just to confirm, yes, 10 degrees. And now when we download the configuration file from our KoolKey to the ERC, it should go back to 15. That's what we just retrieved. So I will connect it again, our ERC to the KoolKey. And remember that for this procedure, our ERC must be powered on, or you need to use a power bank here in the KoolKey. And now we want to download the database from the KoolKey to the ERC, so I will change the position of the switch. I will choose right. And then I will press the button. And let's follow it here with the ERC. I will press the button now. And the KoolKey will recognize that the device connected is associated with the database saved here inside the KoolKey. So the download process is automatic. And let's wait for a couple of moments so it can restart. Okay, and let's take a look at the set point. And here it is, 15 degrees, the 15 degrees, just like the database that we have saved. So that's how you use the KoolKey and the MPK.